Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, is expected to give a really long speech on today. There's only one problem, fam. Donald Trump is 80 years old, and it is going to be over 100 degrees today in Washington, D.C. They are expecting a heat wave, and meteorologists are saying that people could die. The president could die. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. If he goes along with that speech as scheduled, he could end up in the upper room. Let us pray. Okay, that's enough. Listen, fam, I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, Trump says he wants to do the speech because he wants to prove how tough he is. He wants to prove that he can do anything. Now, those are his words. He said he wants to prove that he can do anything. So let's get into this story on Yahoo. Donald Trump is going to address the nation despite the ongoing heat wave. Reportedly, doctors warned the president about the health risk of extreme heat during the gathering. Trump admitted he would give a really long speech during his Independence Day address. Doctors have reportedly warned about the harsh conditions and public gatherings causing a major medical concern. According to OK Magazine, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, a former CNN analyst and Washington, D.C. medical expert, has warned the POTUS about the condition. However, during Trump's appearance at the recent opening ceremony for the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, he vowed to give a long speech. He said, by the way, on July 4th, it's going to be approximately 107 degrees out. I'm going to go, and I'm going to make a really long speech just to show that I can do anything. Dr. Reiner took to his X account, he wrote, the same way the outdoor inauguration was canceled last year because of the cold, the rally on the mall this July 4th should be canceled because of the intense heat. Dangerous weather and large crowds are a bad combination. Extreme heat causes dehydration, heat stroke, and exhaustion during outdoor activities, especially during large gatherings. Soon after his post, many ex-users agreed with him. One ex-user wrote, I don't think there's any chance of any large crowds being there, but you're right, it should be canceled. Another commented, yeah, it would be terrible if anything happened to an elderly speaker. The speech is scheduled for 9:45 p.m. as a central part of the American 250 celebrations at Mount Rushmore before the fireworks. Despite the concerns, the speech is expected to take place. All right, fam. Who going? I got some people out there in D.C. I know, don't be trying to sneak on around there, man. Some of y'all, gotta watch y'all. In any event, fam, they're saying that, tomorrow could be it. If Trump goes through with this speech and try to be out there in that heat for 45 minutes, it could be over. It could be over. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get hot, and then he's going to blame it on the Democrats. It's going to get hot, and he's going to blame it on the Democrats. Somehow, some way, he's going to blame the heat on the Democrats, and he's going to make some type of comparison about how Biden couldn't speak in that type of heat, how he canceled. And then he's going to have to say something about Obama. He's going to say something about Obama. Obama never had a day this big during his presidency. Some type of comparison he's going to make. He's not going to be able to make a crowd argument because that Freedom 250, MAGA's calling, they're calling this event Freedom 250. That's basically because the 250 is going to represent the number of people that's going to show up. Family, it's the nation's 250th anniversary. we should all really be kumbaya, right? We should all, even like in the months leading up to this, the weeks and the days, that should have been some type of concerted effort, from the top to get everybody to kind of, get on board, because they can do this when they want to do it. Like the people at the top, including the media, they can create an harmonious atmosphere if they wanted to. Even in the way that they report news stories, they could create it. The same way that they try to bend the narrative for issues that they care about, for agendas, they can do the same thing, but they don't want to. They love it when we're at odds. They love the divisiveness. They love it, man. They eat it up. And this is so that they can continue to do all of us dirty. I'm telling you, family, I know it's like it's wishful thinking, but I just know that anytime we've come together, we've always been better. Anytime. When we come together, overall, we've always been better. And that only seems to happen when there's a crisis, there's some type of crisis, or a sporting event or a concert. You ever notice the jubilance you feel when you're like, everybody's rooting for the same team, or at least everybody in your section around you, or everybody that's at the sports bar, we're all rooting for the same team, and the pride that comes over you when your team wins, or your team scores and something like that. You ever notice how, everybody's guard is let down? It doesn't matter what color you are, you're giving high fives, everybody's giving high fives to strangers. You're buying beers for people. No, I got that. I'll pay. No, I'll pay. No, I'll pay. You ever notice that? You go to a concert event, that person on that stage, y'all got something in common. Y'all are there to see that person perform. That's your favorite artist. That's his favorite artist. Don't matter what color that person is. That's their favorite artist. Everybody's just singing along, having a good time. Woo-woo-woo. When there's a natural disaster, everybody is together. When there's a crisis, people come together and they just start helping people. People start driving. I know in Texas we get floods. So whenever there's a flood, people are jumping in their trucks. The people that got the big trucks are riding around, rescuing people from their homes, their flooded homes. Sometimes it depends on how deep the water is. People out here on boats and they're rescuing people. They're not saying, "Oh, you'll get off." No, it's all kinds of people on the boats. It's all types of people who are driving the boats. It's just people coming together. When you go to the supply sites, the churches, when they open the doors, like what? It's all kinds of people helping you. And it's all kinds of people there seeking refuge. And it's like, because everybody is in a survival mode, right? So it's either we're in a survival mode or we're in some type of celebratory mode. It's when we can come together. We got to be in survival or celebratory. Even when I think about, the flood, when you think about 911, remember when 911 happened, how everybody was like, "Oh, hell, we're under attack." See, because we, at that moment, this is before we knew what we know now, we're thinking, hell, we're under attack. We, Americans, are under attack. So all of us are concerned and we're worried about, okay, how we going to protect each other? How we going to fight this foreign enemy? What we thought, right? At the time, this foreign enemy, right? We're all on the same page. I remember I was living in a high rise in Houston, and everybody went down. When I got the car, my boy said, man. He said, what did he say? He said those, what did he call them? He said the Iraqis, man. He said, the Iraqis, they went crazy, man. And I said, what's up, man? He said, man, turn on TV, you watching TV? I said, turn on TV. And I turn it on and I see, the plane, I see the towers, the damage and stuff. And so I go down and I put on my clothes and stuff. I go down into the lobby, and there's a huge television in the lobby. And everybody's in the lobby, all kinds of people, right? Looked like the United Nations. And everybody was just like, and everybody was just kind of like stunned. And people were really friendly. Like in that particular building, people were kind of friendly to each other already. But when that happened, we went into survival mode. And it was like all of us was like really kind of concerned about our neighbors. Why the hell we got to go through all of that to come together? I surmise that, we ain't as smart as we think we are. The few people who run it, they're controlling all of us. They're controlling the narrative. And I think because we've had so much conflict between the races, I think that we're kind of on default not to trust people that don't look like us. But the cold part, I'm going to give you the gold part. Here go the cold part. If you really look at life, if you look at your life, if you want them type of people that hate people that don't look like you, just hate them just because they don't look like you, or you think you special because you got some type of skin color you didn't earn. If you really look at that, the people who are responsible for your strongest convictions, even for you hating other people, typically look like you. They typically share your background. They are typically people who raised you and who you was raised around. If you have a mean streak in you, you probably got it from your mom and dad. If you don't trust, you probably got it from the people you grew up around who backstabbed you, who did you dirty. They look like you, right? You loaned somebody some money, they didn't pay you back, and now you don't trust loan people money. Who you loan that money to? You see? If somebody cheated on you, you gave your heart to that person and they cheated on you, what color was that person? See, these are things that shape our strongest convictions. But it's the thing that we have the least amount of control over is what we give the most power to. Think about that. Think about that. And I want you to think about Donald Trump. Today, I want you to think about Donald Trump. Happy 4th of July. No more talk.